one of the things that's so interesting is that Islamic extremism is no longer the most vibrant or the most dynamic trend in the region. The hardcore terrorists of al-Qaeda and Islamic Jihad will still be out to destroy. But I think today, for the first time, we're actually also seeing a great deal of promise in the region. Again, a quarter century after those first attacks, there's a growing recognition in the Middle East that the extremists of al-Qaeda and Islamic Jihad provide no solutions. They can destruct, but they have no positive, constructive alternative to the questions of daily life, be it jobs or education or healthcare, the things we all care about. And I think there's a growing frustration and alienation. I think that's one of the reasons we saw in Anbar province the Sunnis turn against the al-Qaeda presence there. It had almost nothing to do with us. It had to do with their own frustration that they were paying the price and that there were no solutions. In the early 21st century, I think there's a budding culture of change that has begun to take root in the region that is imaginatively challenging the status quo as well as the extremists. I went back to the region and spent almost a year wandering while I was at Brookings on a fellowship, wandering the region to get a sense of what was happening. I went in large part as well because I think one of the many reasons behind our colossal failure in Iraq is that we had not a clue what was happening inside any of these countries. We relied on a group of exiles led by a man who had not been to Iraq since 1958 when he was a teenager, the legendary Ahmed Chalabi. And so what I really wanted to do was get a sense of what's happening inside each one of these countries. We pay attention to them so often because of their strategic interest to us. In the case of Syria, because of it's always been the spoiler in the Arab-Israeli peace process, because of its intervention in Iraq and facilitating the passage of foreign fighters across the Syrian border, and of course its legendary meddling in Lebanon. But nobody's looking at what's actually happening inside one of the most brittle regimes in the region. And so I spent a year just listening to people. And well, I'm going to talk to you a lot about the dream side of it because I think that's what's new. I also, talk to the real bad boys. I spent a lot of time talking to Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon, the leader of Hezbollah, Khalid Mashal in Damascus, the head of Hamas, and other extremists. But what struck me about my trip was that in a region where I used to go look for the clandestine cells as the barometer or the direction of the future, the barometer of opposition, the mujahideen, the holy warriors. Today, I look for the computer nerds, what we nickname the pajama hadeen, because they sit in the comfort of their homes with their laptops and are redefining the political debate, carving out new political space to circumvent the state-controlled media in so many countries. I will tell you that I am normally a pessimist by nature, which has usually made me right about the Middle East. I'm not the one who says, is the glass half empty or half full? I'm the one who says, is there really any water in the glass at all? But what I found on my travels were new public voices and daring publications and increasingly noisy protests in all 24 countries. And I went to all 24 Muslim countries as well as Israel to try to get a sense of what's going on. I found defiant judges in Cairo and imaginative feminists in Morocco and female candidates for parliament in Kuwait. I found rebel clerics in Tehran and brave businessmen willing to go to jail in Syria. The cross-section of activists is one of the things that's so inspiring. Now, there's no question that the extremists are going to continue to go out and kill. But there's also, because of growing impatience and frustration, fueled by education, fueled by information technology, the miracles of instant media and demographics, that and the sense that, and the knowledge of change that has happened elsewhere over the last 30 years, that there's a growing desire to try to be a part of the rest of the world in all of these regions.